The valley is really interested in this agricultural feel that we have here.
We've always had farms in the valley. It was a farm that was hayed, and it was something everybody drove by, and as they go through that green bridge, it was sort of a landmark that everybody looks at.
It's a very pleasant place to live in. We always had a good time there. We had a nice home there and enjoyed the farm, and that's the way it went.
The nice thing about that farm is that all of my grandfather's kids had houses established around there. I had like an uncle and aunt, our house, so it kept it as a family unit for many years.
Well, we have always been looking for ways to diversify our food sources.
It surprised me the number of people who do need food. Just the whole corridor from Rochester up to Waterbury to through Duxbury, and really until you get to Stowe, I think that there's a surprising number of people who really do need help with food.
We heard a lot of demand for fresh produce from our agencies.
In 2004, I think the Kingsbury farm was for sale. So you drive by it and you see the sale sign out there, and you think, I wonder, who's going to buy that?
As soon as the signs went up on the road there, I started getting some calls from the realtor as well as from people in the community who were just sort of reacting, saying, "Can you believe the Kingsbury farm is for sale? What are we going to do?"
I said, "Boy, have you thought about the Kingsbury farm?" I think about it every time I drive by. And so when you see something like that available, you start thinking about all the things that can be done with it. Well, what if we could buy it? What if the town could buy it? And so on from there.
All of a sudden, things started to happen really quick around that time in 2007. And a group of people, probably 10 or 12 people, got together to sort of figure out how we could take action. And that became known as the Kingsbury Advisory Committee, basically a local committee of people from, there was someone from the Estermaro Design and Build School, someone from the local lore group, a couple people from the town of Warren and the Conservation Commission. When a farm's for sale, you have to figure out who's going to own it. That's sort of the biggest challenge, I think. And it's one thing to just conserve a farm, but in this case, we were faced with looking at total transformation of this, of this place that had been owned by in the same family for 55 years. The community seemed clearly engaged in thinking about what should happen to the farm, and the town of Warren was willing to put up a substantial amount of money to help purchase it.
So I think we probably started the project in about September of 2007, and then finally got to the point where we knew what the actual selling price of it was going to be once it was conserved, and then we could say, okay, now how are we going to find somebody to buy it?
We had four or six different applicants, and we interviewed them, but certainly the food bank, it was like a miracle that their proposal was so in line with what the deepest wishes of the community had been in terms of having an operation that would really benefit the community. It just made all the sense in the world that you should have, support people in need with land from their own community.
It's been really good, and the community has been extremely supportive every step of the way. Well, it had to remain agricultural, which was their requirement. And part of a couple things we committed to. One was that we wanted to, with the food that was grown there for the charitable distribution system, would remain in the area to the point that it fulfilled the needs of the area, and anything excess we would bring back to here and put into our statewide distribution system. The plan that we're moving forward with is that it will make the facility and the land available to a farmer or farmers that can make a living off of what's available, and then in turn grow product that they can supply to the food bank at no cost.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just really going to be a positive thing for the valley. I think it's going to be a positive thing for the food bank, and I think it's going to be a really positive thing for us too. Of the 3 acres that are of open land, half of the food would be grown for the food bank, and the other half would be for the farmers. I think the food bank wants to grow winter squash, carrots, and onions next year. A farm store, I think for the food bank will be really good, because what that's going to do is get lots of people here on the property. And whatever there is for a farm stand, and there's going to be a lot of space that the food bank is going to have to present what they're doing at Kingsbury, just get them out there to the community. And so a farm stand, I don't think you're going to beat that as far as exposure.
Gather food, share food, and nurture partnerships to end hunger. I really like the fact that the people in the valley they've taken their local movement, and through the partnership with us, they're making the local food accessible to the charitable food system, which is huge, because it makes it all-inclusive. And it's not just the food is all-inclusive, but the idea of local food. Farmers are special people. They do it for a lot of different reasons, but they do it. The bottom line is that they like to feed people. They like to take care of people.
But we did have good times there. Enjoyed being together there and enjoyed helping each other. You help each other when you need help.